people of Cinecoat. I'm MischiefWoW. How's everyone doing? Today we're going to be looking at the 5th boss and the Dragon Soul, Ultraxion. The mechanics of this fight are pretty easy, but there can be a lot of things that can go wrong on this fight. At the beginning of the patch, it was more of a gear check for the DPS and such. Now with all the nerfs in place and people having more gear, it's not as much, but there's still some chances to die. If you can get most of the coordination down, it's a fairly easy fight. So yeah, let's get to it. At the very beginning of the fight, Ultraxion will cast Twilight Shift, pulling everyone into the Twilight Realm. Essentially, there's the Twilight Realm and there's the real realm. There is an ability that you will get called Heroic Will, where it has I believe it's a 30-second cooldown, and you can use it to go back into the regular realm for 5 seconds. While in the regular realm, you're immobilized, you cannot hit the boss, and you will not take damage from anything. There must be at least one player in the Twilight Realm at a time, so you can't just have everyone go to the Twilight Realm. The reason that you must have one player in the Twilight Realm at a time is if every player stands outside of Ultraxion's range, you'll cast Twilight Burst, dealing 75k shadow damage to every player, and cause a stacking debuff. And you're not going to want this. Also, throughout the fight, Ultraxion is going to have Unstable Monstrosity, which is going to cause high arcs of Twilight energy to erupt from Ultraxion's hide. This is going to cause a high amount of shadow damage, divide among the players, so you're going to want to stack as close to Ultraxion as you can. Also, just as a quick note, you will not be able to get behind the boss, so you'll not be able to use any backstabbing abilities. I believe that's only rogues and druids. But Ultraxion will not be able to parry any attacks, so you'll not need to worry about that for melee. And now for the abilities that you actually have to look out for. So probably the most important ability to look out for is Hour of Twilight. Ultraxion's going to do about a 6-second cast. That's going to do 300k shadow damage. And basically when there's about a second or two left, everyone except for one tank is going to have to use their Heroic Will ability to go into the regular realm as to not take damage. Tanks will get a buff called Last Defender of Azeroth, which is going to increase the duration of their defensive abilities by 100% and reduce their cooldowns by 50%. So you're going to want to use some of your big cooldowns, and tanks should probably alternate to make sure they have a big cooldown up so they can survive the damage. Also, the other ability is Fading Light. Fading Light will be cast periodically on the tanks as well as on random DPS or healers throughout the fight. And it will last 5 to 10 seconds, and once the debuff goes off, anyone inside the Twilight Realm will die. So essentially you need to pop your button just with a few seconds left. And when you return into the Twilight Realm, you will have no threat for 10 seconds. So tanks are going to have to communicate to make sure they taunt at the correct times and such, so that the boss doesn't start rampaging on your healers and cause a wipe. The boss has a 6-minute enrage, so you still have to beat that, as well as continuing on through the fight. The Unstable Monstrosity buff, which causes Ultraxion to arc damage, will increase damage over time, so that's going to be a thing that you're going to need to watch out for. Now, you will get a few buffs. I already mentioned the one that Thrall gives you, which is the Last Defender of Azeroth on the tanks. Also, throughout the fight, there will be 3 crystals that are summoned near the back of the raid, and you're going to want to assign each healer to pick up a certain crystal. The red crystal will increase healing done by 100%. The green crystal will cause your single target heals to be duplicated to everyone within 50 yards of them. So if you are stacked and you're all in the same realm, this should affect everyone. The blue crystal will reduce mana cost by 75% and increase spell haste by 100%. Only healers will benefit from these, so make sure your healers get these. And you can only have one buff at a time. Now, near the end of the fight, everyone will be imbued with a time loop, which is basically a second life, as any attack which would normally kill you brings you to max health, but will remove the time loops. So This is basically going to give everyone an extra life near the end of the fight. So, for the most part, if your raid gets time loop, you should be able to survive to the kill of Ultraxion. It's really a basic fight on the outside. It's not terribly complicated in the fight, just as long as you make sure to hit your big button when Hour of Twilight or Fading Light's going to go off and can kill the boss and have enough heals to survive it. The main thing that wipes is not clicking the button and tank swapping wrong. If you really want to get the boss down, it's best to use Vent and have both the tanks communicate. If they don't have mics, it can be a little harder, but it can still be done. You can do macros to spam raid chat or yell or something. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire fight. It's not overly complicated. Really, you're only going to need to watch out for Fading Light and Hour of Twilight. Other than that, just heal. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. And yeah, peace.